Senator Ita Enang, a former presidential advisor on Niger Delta Affairs, says INEC must recognize the outcome of the APC Akwa Ibom governorship primaries conducted by the Austin Ekanem-led executive. He made the comments in reaction to the uncertainty surrounding the May 26th APC governorship primaries and INEC's report that the APC did not conduct any governorship election primary in Akwa Ibom State. Well, he says the names forwarded to INEC were not the names of people who emerged from valid primaries monitored by INEC.
Well, Senator Ita Enang joins us now on the news. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. Before we go into the politics and the drama of it, what would be your initial reaction to the attack on the Kuje Correctional Facility? You're a member of this current administration.
It is, we're depressed about it, and His Excellency Mr. President visited the scene and on his way for an international engagement and had made statements, and I adopt the statement and position of Mr. President as my statement and as my position.
Right. Okay. So let's get into the political issues now. Well, if as of the 7th of April this year, that appeal court that granted the order to maintain status quo, well, I'm asking you this as a senior lawyer. What would you say status quo really means in this particular case?
Well, I will not go into interpreting status quo. I will only go into talking about where we are as a party in the state. INEC understood and interpreted the status quo antebellum to mean that they are bound to observe and honor the Austin Ekanem-led section or club of the party, and not the Ntogekbo club of the party. And INEC went to that place to monitor. And INEC's position is that that is the one that they have in their record, number one. Number two, the delegate that emerged in the, who will be voting for the gubernatorial candidates, emerged from the ward congresses and the chapter congresses, which were conducted by the Austin Ekanem-led executive, which were not in contention, which there was no dispute about. And so that is the delegates that are capable in law of electing valid governorship candidates. And again, the judgment that brought in Mr. Ntogekbo related to the office of the chairman and perhaps one or two other persons who were in the on that process, but it did not relate to the ward chairman and chapter chairman. But when the Ntogekbo came in, he now started the process of constituting anew the ward chairman and afresh the chapter chairman. Therefore, the law is that, and it's, as it is now, those ward chairmen and chapter chairmen are illegal and are incapable of producing delegates that are capable of going to vote for gubernatorial, senatorial, House of Representatives, and House of Assembly election. So the substratum is not there.
So do you blame INEC for relating with, it's interesting first and foremost that you refer to them as club, the Austin Ekanem and the Stephen Club. Well, we know them as factions. So are you blaming INEC for relating with the initial faction, which is the Austin Ekanem faction that conducted the congresses? Are you blaming INEC for doing that?
Unfortunately, INEC is not the problem of the party in the state.
Exactly.
INEC, unfortunately, the electoral commissioner in the state is not my friend. And I think the last time I spoke with him was on the day of the gubernatorial election in 2019. Till today, and perhaps some days ago when I met him just off the course in the course of flying to Abuja at the lounge, I never met him. Now, so I have nothing to do with him because of some things he did which was very annoying to me in 2019. So since 2019, I've not spoken with him on phone, haven't had any relationship. And he has taken a position. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, INEC is right in what it's doing. Igini is right in his position. Because Igini, I mean, the elections are to be conducted under the Electoral Act. INEC is set up under the Constitution to obey the law. And even if the party or INEC accepts that they will, we being ruling party, whatever, okay, for whatever, file a candidate, the other political parties who are contesting that election will take steps and will flush all the candidates out.
And that's the issue now.
So INEC is right, and we should not blame INEC. I made my letter to the national chairman, to His Excellency Mr. President, the Vice President, the Secretary to Government, the Speaker, the Senate President, and all the leaders of the party, and the national chairman of INEC, to intervene, to pressurize upon the national chairman and the leadership of the party that they should forward the rightful elected, nominated candidates, I beg your pardon, of the party in the senatorial, House of Representatives, and the House of Assembly to INEC. Because, but not the, you started in your intro by saying that I'm quarreling that they are forwarding a wrong name for the electoral, for the gubernatorial. No name has emerged for the gubernatorial.
Yes.
That is why we are in court. And there was no nomination known to law that has been conducted to choose the gubernatorial. Because on the day we were supposed to do the gubernatorial, there was a stalemate, and the panel chairman and members said they are too traumatized and they will postpone it. And the commissioner of police and the commissioner for the INEC electoral commissioner, Igini, announced to the delegates in the Austin-led club that the nomination has been postponed because, and this was about 10:30 p.m. To a date that will be fixed. And the date, about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., the man surreptitiously went to conduct what he called primaries in an illegal venue. Now, I went there because we agreed with him, and I met with him at the DSS headquarters, and he said he's too traumatized to hold elections. And so he's not. But when I left, I was told 17 minutes after or so that he has gone to conduct primaries about 2 a.m. So I went there and asked him, where is the delegate list? He said he didn't come with it. Where is INEC here? He said he came to conduct election and he has no business with INEC. So INEC was not there to monitor, and there was no delegate list because the lawful delegate list was with the where INEC was. So right now there is nothing like governorship candidate. But there are candidates that were elected for the House of Representatives using the lawful delegate list. Senate and House of Representatives and House of Assembly using the lawful delegate list. But what our dear party has forwarded to INEC is the one that was conducted by the illegal body, which INEC did not monitor, which did not have valid delegates that should have voted.
Which INEC is also rejecting.
Which INEC is rejecting.
And also
I'm saying
the crux of this controversy.
Yes, and I'm saying that INEC is right. INEC is right. And the position I hold is that INEC is not our problem. It is our lawlessness. It is the NAPC members. And now the thing has left the scene.
Yes. Who would have thought that after the experience, bitter experience, some would add, in 2019, where he eventually lost River State and Zamfara State, that the APC would have
and the challenge in
but here
Lagos
we are
State.
Again, allowing the courts to decide what happens in your party. And one wonders, internal mechanism in resolving crisis.
There are, and I really plead that, I still plead with the chairman of the party and the national officer of the party, that look, there is result that has been forwarded that was monitored by INEC, and it is there with INEC in their portal, in their record.
So
and if you do not send, but INEC has sent the ones that are not there.
Yeah.
And it is not the business of INEC to bring up the ones that they know were validly elected in the primaries and put as your candidates. And it is the law that where there are valid candidates nominated in an election and you refuse to send, it means that you have abandoned and withdrawn from that election. And we are saying that, please, the APC leadership, don't do this to Akwa Ibom. Okay. This is what happens to Rivers. This is what happens to Zamfara. This is the kind of thing that led to the disaster we had in Bayelsa. And don't withdraw. Even if you are not, don't withdraw. Okay. Because if we don't have a rallying point to contest for the gubernatorial. The most unfortunate thing, which I plead, is that the chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ademo, is a lawyer called to the bar in 1992. The organizing secretary is former deputy governor, well experienced. We have a legal advisor. Okay. The deputy chairman, who is the chairman of electoral panel, was a chairman of the committee on electoral matters in the Senate. Well, so he knows the law, and they all know the law, and they know better than what they have done.
And they should do something with that knowledge, really. Senator Ita Enang, we have to say thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.